और भाई क्या हाल है? Just so that you guys know, I had recorded the entire answers for every solution, every problem, and I found out that it was not, the audio was not right, so I'm just recording it again. But yeah, let's move on to the question number one. Find the array concatenation value. It's pretty simple. It just says that we are given a zero index integer array nums. Concatenation is defined as 15 plus 49, which means if you have a number 15, 49, just add it, place them side by side, becomes 1549. Concatenation of nums is initially 0, initial value is 0. What we do is we pick a number which is the first element and the last element of nums, array nums. We concatenate them, then we remove those numbers and add their value to nums, which is initially 0. And it also says that if the number has the value is just 1, only one element exists, then we just add the value. Let's quickly see the example. So suppose the array is something like this: 752 to 4. Then I just grabbed the first two elements, which is 7 and 4, concatenated them, and now I need to add it to 0, which means that 0 plus this, which is 74. Now after that I grabbed another two elements, 52 and 2. I just concatenated them. 52 2 becomes 522. I just added back in the previous number, which is 74, and I grabbed the number 596. So as you can see, it is the final answer. Let's look at another example for our clarity. We grab the number 5 and 12, we removed them, concatenated them, becomes 512, added in the previous number, which was 0, so I added them, becomes 512. Now I grabbed the number 14 and 8, becomes 1, so now the number becomes 148. I added in the previous number, which is 512, and then I got the value as 660. Now after that, as we have removed this, now the element which is last, as you can easily see, the condition, it says that if one element exists, then we need to have it. So I just grab this 13, added in the last element, which is 660. So 660 plus 13, it becomes 673. And it is the final answer, 673. So it's pretty simple. We just grab the I and the j, which means the first and the last element from this array, and we just, after grabbing these two elements, we just use them, which means concatenate them. Then I added to my number, which is already initially, it is initialized to 0, so I added in the number, which is my concatenation of these two values. After that, I just remove those, I just move ahead, which means I is moving ahead, j is moving backwards. Now I have these two i's and j's. Now I just concatenate them, add their value to the previous nums, and then I just remove them and I just move inside of this array. Grab two numbers, convert them to string, concatenate them, and then adding, which means converting the string back to an integer to add to nums, because addition operation only applies to numbers. Now let's quickly see the code. It's pretty simple. Firstly, I have this n, I have my I and j. As I said, my I is starting from here and my j is starting from end. Answer initialized to 0, which means, as I said, we will add on to 0, then like grabbing the first and last element, concatenating them, and then adding back to 0. So like it is my answer, which I need to return at the last. If my n is odd, because as you know that I either grab pairs, which means this and this, concatenate them, this and this, concatenate them. But if the number is alone itself, so I just don't need to concatenate them, I can directly add it. So if my n, if means number of elements in the array is odd, so I'll just grab this mid element, which is nums of n by 2. So I just grabbed it and add it initially itself. Okay, no worries. Now I just, what I did was I iterated on my array from 0 to n by 2 minus 1, which means from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. And from last, as you can easily see that if my I is here, so my j would be nothing but n minus 1 minus I. Pretty simple, right? So I will just do the same. It is my start, which means it is my start and it is my end. I just do a I because I is here and my j is m minus 1 minus I. I just grab these numbers as a string, added them because concatenation operation applies on a string. So I just concatenated these two numbers, got in a string called concat, and then I converted this concat to a number back. So if we want to convert in C++, we have a library. If we want to convert a string to a number, integer, so we can use stoi, string to integer, and we can pass a string here. And if we want to convert a long number to integer, we want to convert a string to a long number, then it is string to long, which is stoll. So as the numbers can be pretty big, so I just did a stoll and just did a concatenation and grabbed the values. And as we said that we need to add that value to the answer, I just added that value to my answer, and the loop goes on up till 0 to n by 2 minus 1, right? And because ultimately I can easily grab my j from back. I hope you guys loved it, and you can easily get it accepted. I hope you guys liked it, and see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care.